I need to give a story about myself so you guys know who the hell I am, I guess. People look at my life now and they think it's like something new. They think like I just jumped on the trend because CBD got popular. But this isn't a phase for me. This is my life, and this is forever. And I didn't begin inside of a clean lab or in some in a storefront that with bright lights, with pretty shelves like I have. It started in the darkest place I've ever been. There was a time in my life where I had everything. I had the houses, the cars, the bikes, pockets full of money. On the outside, it looked like I was winning. It looked like I was living the dream everybody chases. But inside, I was surrounded by like the ugliest energy you could imagine. Jealousy, greed, hate, snakes pretending to love you. I didn't believe in the spiritual stuff back then, but I swear I felt like every level I reached, I traded a piece of myself to get there. And then one day everything flipped. People I trusted turned. People I grew up with, they folded. And betrayal hit me from all angles, and I never saw it coming. People I tried to, people they tried to set me up, and raids happened, and my name got dragged, twisted, and blackmailed. One minute I had everything, and the next minute I was homeless. Sleeping on my truck with my two dogs, pretending I was still good. Instead of reaching out for help, I try to keep up with the image. I got an apartment by the beach, three grand a month. Not because I was happy, but because I didn't want people to see me fall. But the money ran out, and the last hit came from someone I let in close, and someone I should have never trusted. And, that was a blow that broke me. That that was when homelessness became real. So I drove to Whittier, and a couple people out there that don't care to be mentioned, but they believed in me, and when they had no reason to, they gave me a chance to they gave me a room, and literally a grow room, and me and my dogs, we were staying there. And when finally I got a shop, I didn't even have a place to sleep, so I slept inside the shop, the store, and every morning before opening, I'd hide my blankets and my bags and my clothes, and so nobody would know I was living there. And my partners didn't judge me. They said if you gotta stay there or stay here until you get back on your feet, then that is what it is. And that kind of loyalty, that's rare, man. And I'm pretty sure they didn't want it, but it's kind of keeps a man alive when he gets nothing left. He has nothing left. And around the city, the sessions were popping, and these underground swamp meet style cannabis markets, they built my people who were pushed out the industry. People who didn't trust corporations, and people didn't want to be, they didn't want to sell their souls just to fit in. Those are my people. And that's where I rebuilt my name. Shout out to the sessions. But even through all that, I was studying CBD like a madman, like, way before anybody cared. And before isolate became a trend, and before companies pretended they'd been doing it for decades. Before the world even knew the entourage effect or the endocannabinoid system. Some people still don't even know about that. I turned my house at the time into a lab and bought chemistry equipment, learned infusion methods, temperatures, and full spectrum behavior, and all on my own. No school, no mentor, just hunger. And when a real chemist walked into my setup, she froze. She asked, like, how did you even figure this all out? I took it as an insult. So I told her, like, how did you not figure it out? You're the one with all the degrees. So CBD wasn't just science for, to me, it was survival. When anxiety hit me, when panic hit me, when stress from businesses and the streets and betrayal and the life I started, crushing my chest. CBD calmed me, and it gave me a way to heal instead of destroying myself. We all know how that goes. Well, at least the people that know me. And when I realized how much it helped me, I wanted to help others too. So I gave it to people legally with full transparency. I gave it to PTSD patients and cancer patients, people finding chronic pain, and parents trying to help their children. Families will come to my events crying, dude, thanking me. That's no joke. And telling me their loved ones were finally eating again and sleeping again and living again. And one family I'll never forget, man, like they told me that their relative had passed away who was a customer. My heart dropped. I thought I hurt someone. But they grabbed my hands and they said, "No, we came to thank you. Your CBD let him spend his final days at home with us. Not dying alone, hooked up to machines." That moment changed me forever, and I stopped caring about my status. I stopped caring about my money, or I stopped caring about money, about money, not my money. I wanted to do something clean and something real and something that didn't drag me back into the dark world I escaped. And even when the industry did everything to bury me, I kept rising. I rebuilt my brand. I opened, a store. I survived COVID when small businesses were collapsing. I tattooed CBD on my neck, so no matter what happened, people would remember that's the dude who did CBD before all of you. I never said I cured anybody. I never pretended to be God. I just gave people something natural and honest and clean, and I let their bodies do the rest. And now I'm sleeping into a new chapter, no drama, no beef, no negativity. I'm rebuilding a platform, a place for people to share their cannabis story, a place where brands could talk about their products, and a place where science, street knowledge, and healing come together. And because this isn't a trend, man, it's not something I did because it got big. This is who I am. This is what saved me. This is my purpose. And this is forever.